Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, English for IT Professionals. My name is Terry, and in today's lesson we have 5 essential expressions for backlog refinement meetings. So the objective with this lesson and the 5 expressions is to help you feel more confident using English, understanding and then speaking more in your backlog refinement. And we have 5 specific expressions where I'm going to show you the variations, some typical grammar problems, and a lot of pronunciation, okay? Expression 1. Should we prioritize item for the next sprint? So this is about setting the priority levels for the upcoming tasks. Do we want or need to prioritize item for the next sprint? Should item or the thing be a priority for the next sprint? Are we planning to prioritize the item next sprint? So let's look here. We have prioritize, which is the verb, to decide something is more important and to do it first. So to prioritize. And then the noun is to be a priority, We have another expression here, which is to give something priority, which is to treat something as more important than others. It's another expression for prioritize. To give priority to something is really the same as to prioritize. Now again, just look here. So we need to prioritize the urgent bugs. Prioritize is a verb. This ticket is a priority for the team. Priority is a noun. Let's give priority to client issues. And again, that's the same thing. If you say, let's give priority to client issues, let's prioritize client issues. Now, with the word priority, you do have some different sort of adjectives. You can say something is top priority or high priority, which is very similar, or low priority. Now, the pronunciation is quite important because we have something. So the first syllable here is or, and the third syllable is weak, not strong. It's prioritize. Other languages, like in Spanish, priorizar, I'm not sure if that's correct, but the third syllable here is weak, as in prioritize. Not priorities, prioritize. And then we have the past tense, prioritized. So the end is the prioritized. And then priority. Notice again, with priority, you have second syllable is strong. The next syllable is weak. Priority. But it's not priority, it's priority. It's a weak syllable. For some students, the or in priority is not easy to pronounce. So you can also say this to make something our main task, to make something the main focus, the most important thing. A lot of my students are in Asia and they don't have the letter or, so if prioritize is a little bit difficult, you can just say this, okay? Now, again, just some common mistakes is should we prioritize, not prioritizing, okay? And then should the UI design be prioritized is in the present, in the prioritized. Just 2 classic little mistakes people have apart from the pronunciation problems. So some examples. Should we prioritize the login bug for the next sprint? Yes, we should prioritize it because it's blocking users. Are we planning to prioritize mobile responsiveness next sprint? Yes, let's give it priority and move it up the backlog. Of course, you can say move up the backlog or move down, okay? Should the onboarding flow be a priority for the next sprint? Not yet. It's not the top priority at the moment. Expression 2. Do we need more details on and the item? So this is asking about a user story or task is well defined and to get good clarity and to be sure before development. Another here is about, because if we have the expression, do we need more details, we can use this other verb, gather. Should we gather more information about an item? Gather is very, very similar to the verb to collect. Now, collect is a little bit maybe more formal, but gather, especially if you're talking to stakeholders where you gather requirements, it's really the process of collecting during time. Should we gather more information? So maybe if you need to find more details, to gather more information or more details, it will take 2, 3, 4 days or something, right? The next one is, are we missing any critical details on the item? Now, if we have here details on, do we need more details on? This is definitely slightly more direct or technical, common in work, tech, and agile. Details about, it's possible, you can say it, it's slightly more casual, it's common everyday conversation. I think in the business sort of English context, details on, in this case, is better. Now, another common mistake is to say more of details. When it's plural, we just say, we just need more details. And information is always singular. It's uncountable. So informations does not exist. So please be careful if you're asking, do we need more information on something? It's not informations, okay? Now with details, you can have here critical details, important details, key details, and essential details. So just some more vocabulary with the word details. And as we go into the pronunciation here, so it's details, not details, but details. And then critical details, so it's critical details. Essential details, so it's essential details. The really important thing is about the strong syllable. For example, in critical, it's not critical, but critical and essential details. Some examples. Do we need more details on the new login feature? Yes, we need more details before we can estimate it. Should we gather more information about the payment API? Yes, we should gather more information from the backend team. Are we missing any critical details on the dashboard update? Yes, we are missing the exact user requirements. Expression 3. Can we combine item with related item? So it's about merging or combining similar tasks and saving time and effort. So we do have two verbs here about to combine and then to merge. Merge, you probably know, because merging branches in Git and this stuff is about different versions is extremely common. So combine and merge. So could we merge task and task to save time? Or a more simpler version is, should we handle this task and task together? Now, with the pronunciation here, we've got combine, so not combine, but combine, and the past is combined. The next one is merge. So with this here, M-E-R-J-E, you can see here I put M-E-R-J. So the sound here is merge, merge. So it's this little sound here, merge. And the past tense is merged. So merged does not exist. It's merged, merged. Okay, practice. So with here, we've combine or merge with. It's definitely the most common, the most natural. It is also possible to talk about combine or merge into. If you combine these two tasks into one story, it's definitely possible, but merge or combine with is more common, and this is what I'm going to show you. But just to be clear, it's possible. So a mistake is to say, can we merge task A to task B, where you're using merge to or combine to? Can we merge task A with task B? So some examples. Can we combine the sign up page with the login page? Yes, we can combine the sign up page with the login page to create a smoother flow. Could we merge the bug fix and the UI update to save time? Yes, we could merge the bug fix with the UI update into one task. Should we handle the profile update and password reset together? Yes, we can combine the profile update with the password reset into one story. So you can see the usage, the way we use like with and then into, okay? Expression 4. Is item still relevant or should we remove it? So this is about cleaning up the backlog and removing outdated tasks. I know I do this myself more with my to-do list, but I often clean my own backlog with the tasks. It's like, is this still relevant? Do I still need to do this? And some variations here are, should this user story remain in the backlog or be removed? Or is item still necessary or can we drop it? Now, the verb drop is literally like, if you have I have my clicker from my presentation here, I just like drop. That's what it means literally. But it's another more casual way to say remove. Now, the word still, it's important to just take a moment to explain this because sometimes still and yet are the exact same word in other languages or they're not clear. Still means at this moment or even now, that something has not changed. For example, if we say still relevant, it is important now, just like before. Still important, important now, just like before. Continues to be important. Still necessary, same idea. Now, if we have here to remove something, is you delete or take something, to remove something from the backlog, so remove from, or then we see this in what we call the passive voice. This is when you take the past participle, because English verbs work with present, past simple, past participle, the little box you see in the end of the grammar book, to be removed. This means that probably someone else will do it. That to remove something is active. I can or I will remove, and this will be removed by someone else. To drop is important because it's a much more casual way to say. It's like, we can remove it from the backlog. We can drop it from the backlog. And then again, the past tense here of the passive idea is to be dropped. And notice the T pronunciation is dropped, dropped. So examples, remove. We should remove this task from the backlog. This item should be removed if it's not needed. Let's drop this user story. It's not important anymore. This feature might be dropped in the next sprint planning session. Now, the pronunciation here, if we have relevant, 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 remove, remove. Past tense is removed, removed, to drop, and then dropped. So it's with the T sound in the past tense. Drop, present, dropped, drop, dropped. Some more examples. Is the profile update still relevant or should we remove it? We should remove it. It's no longer needed. Should this user story remain in the backlog or be removed? It should be removed because it's outdated. Is the old dashboard still necessary or can we drop it? Let's drop it. The new version is already live. So one or two common mistakes is as confusing because to be relevant and then relevance is a noun. So one mistake is asking, is the feature still relevant when it must be, is the feature still relevant? Expression 5. Does item depend on any other task? This is about identifying dependencies or blockers, or checking if you can proceed or continue with a task. Now, some variations here. Is item connected to another task? Does the item need another task first? Is the item waiting on another task? Or does item rely on another task? Now let's look at these verbs in detail. So, to depend on. It is extremely common to hear students say to depend of. It's not correct. Try to break this habit. It's very common, especially with Spanish, Portuguese, and French speakers, because that's the natural preposition. It does not change in English. To depend on, to rely on. And curiously here, to wait on. Now, to depend on is the idea of you need something else to happen first. You are depending on the QA team to send results, or you are depending on the stakeholders. And then you rely on is about trust, or you need someone, as in you're relying on your product owner to talk to the stakeholders because it's really important. And the next idea here is to wait on. Now, to wait on is curious because you are stopping and doing nothing until something else is ready. You're waiting on something. It means you can't continue until you have this information or this help. Now, to wait for is more common in everyday English. That's the most common. But to wait on is more common in business, or slightly more formal or technical. But again, it's the idea that you're waiting on the data or waiting on another professional. It means that you are blocked and you are stuck and you can't continue until you have this. So you can say I'm waiting for something, but maybe, if you're waiting for something, you are also continuing with another task. But waiting on, you are not. So again, the number one mistake I see with students, and try to practice, try to break this habit, is using of instead of a C, like we depend on. It's not we depend of, it's we depend on. And then sometimes people forget on completely. So we rely the database, when it should be we rely on the database. So again, in this case, always use on after depend and rely, and then wait on in business English, in this case with a specific meaning that you are not able to continue. And then wait for is also correct. It's also fine, especially in casually speaking, but it's just a small difference in meaning, okay? So the pronunciation is depend, depend, and then there's rely, rely. Some examples. Does the sign-up page depend on any other task? Yes, it depends on the backend API being ready. Is the report generation feature waiting on another task? Yes, it's waiting on the database update to be completed. Does the notification system rely on another task? Yes, it relies on the messaging service being fully tested. So again, depend on, not of. Probably the most important thing about this section 5, or this expression 5. So here are the 5 expressions. Please comment your examples below in the comments box, comment section. I would love to see your feedback or your suggestions or some insults. It is the internet, of course. But especially if you can tell me, what do you think of the lessons? What could I improve? What lessons do you need? What, as an IT professional, what lessons do you need? So if you're still watching, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Please click like, subscribe, and follow me for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.